me, Mr. Antoshevich, dear Sebastian, dear Danuta Hübner, dear ladies and gentlemen, Szanowni Państwo. It is a pleasure to be part of this special event today and to discuss with Polish and German audience this key issue. We all know that the fight against climate change requires new approaches, and first and foremost, the scaling up and the speeding up of action. At my recently established Ministry for Housing, Urban Development and Building, we are well aware of the role that cities and the building sector play in this regard. Our cities in Germany account for the majority of greenhouse gas emissions, and they are the forefront of climate action. According to the UN, the fight against climate change will be won or lost in cities. That is why we are implementing and planning several big measures in the building sector as well as in urban and territorial development to address this challenge. One of the major German industry is the construction sector. In 2022, around 535 billion euros in nominal construction volume are expected to be implemented. This is around half of all investment in Germany. More than half of the construction investments are made in the housing sector, new construction and existing buildings. The relevance of the construction industry is considerable compared to other sectors. Its proportion to total gross value added in Germany is around 5%. The economic power of the construction industry is thus significantly larger to other key sectors such as engineering or chemical sector. As a government, we set reliable framework conditions for the construction industry and invest extensively in modern infrastructure such as railways, waterways, or roads. Given the high demand for housing in Germany, we have set the goal of building 400,000 new housing units per year, 100,000 of which will be subsidized housing. In addition, we are faced with the major climate policy challenges in the construction sector. Buildings account for around 30% of CO2 emissions. Therefore, high investments are necessary to improve the energy efficiency of the existing building. To address all these challenges, we need a close cooperation with the construction sector and also a high commitment of the construction industry itself. This is important to ensure that prices and rents remain affordable for all segments of society. In future, we need to pay more attention to buildings' entire lifespan to reduce the so-called gray emissions. We want to establish this as an important parameter for targets, planning, and assessments in the construction sector. We want to introduce a digital passport for building resources, which would show a building's entire lifespan, taking into account the developments and requirements at EU level. We are pleased that our quality seal for sustainable buildings has been well received by the market. This seal includes information on life cycle assessment and sustainable sourcing of materials. We will also be introducing a raw materials indicator to promote the conservation of resources. Overall, I believe that we should focus much more on the circular economy, of course, in all sectors, not only the building one. A circular economy is about more than just recycling materials or dismantling buildings. It begins at the planning stage with choices that determine whether construction resources will be conserved and whether a building will be durable or able to be used for different purposes. A building which was originally intended as an office block should be able to be used for housing later. The use of sustainable building materials such as wood also entails great potential, not only in Eastern Germany, but also in Poland. Wood is a renewable raw material that also binds CO2. And that is why we and the Federal Ministry of Food and Agriculture are developing a major timber construction initiative. We are promoting the innovative use of wood from sustainable forestry, and we pay attention to short supply chain. We have also launched the Future Building Innovation Program to support research on renewable raw materials, especially research on timber construction. In addition to climate-friendly building, we must, of course, ensure that houses in Germany are designed to operate in an environmentally friendly way. That is why, together with the Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action, we have launched an immediate climate action program for the building sector to advance the use of renewable energy for heating, from solar panels to heat pumps. And that is a really major transformation process all over the world. So the human mankind built since thousands of years houses, and we used to heat them by burning some fossils, and that need to change soon. Increasing the use of digital technology in the construction value chain is another important goal. Digital methods such as open BIM help to significantly increase the productivity and efficiency of Germany's construction industry. At the same time, climate change is a challenge of a global nature and affects all parts of life. That is why we need to team up internationally to address it, to learn from each other, to exchange ideas and develop new solutions together. That is also what the German federal government has done for many years, the cooperation with our Polish counterparts in many areas relevant to climate mitigation and climate adaptation. I think of our long-standing cooperation in sustainable urban and territorial development that demonstrates that there's a lot that connects us and that we can all benefit from exchange. As you mentioned, for many years, I was a member of the Foundation for Polish-German Cooperation. That is why I know from personal experience that formats like the one today will contribute to strengthening this partnership. In the field of urban development, our two countries have been cooperating for many years as part of the informal cooperation with the EU, but also in many other ways. Programs such as ORBACT for peer-to-peer learning of European cities, or the partnership of the Urban Agenda for the EU, where cities, regions, and other stakeholders exchange ideas and work together on improving EU policies, are key instruments that represent this partnership. The new Leipzig Charter as a framework for integrated and sustainable urban development, which was prepared by the EU member states and adopted under the German EU presidency in 2020, is the anchor for both the German and the Polish national urban policies. It highlights the role of cities in the fight against climate change and the added value for citizens by fostering green, just, and productive cities in an integrated and sustainable way. I also believe that the new EU mission on 100 climate neutral and smart cities offers many new opportunities for exchange and capacity building. The goal is to make 100 selected EU citizens carbon neutral by 2030. That is a quite ambitious target, and we are fully committed to the EU's mission and to support the 9 selected German cities. On the many visits to Polish cities and regions, I have encountered creative and innovative approaches to addressing many of the issues on the municipal level. Therefore, I am convinced that Polish and German cities can learn a lot from each other on the way to climate neutrality. Almost exactly 1 year ago, Poland and Germany celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Treaty of Good Neighborship and Friendly Cooperation. In these 30 days, close relations have developed between Germany and Poland, both on a political and a social level. The German-Polish Government Commission and its subdivisions, such as the Spatial Planning Committee, are constantly working to fill the treaty with life. As an example of this joint commitment, I would like to highlight the joint future concept of the German-Polish border regions, Vision 2030. For the first time, the concept describes a common vision for the German-Polish border region. This has had a positive impact on the political view of this region in recent years and serves as a model for other borders regions. The ongoing pilot project for the integrated planning in the German-Polish border region and the Polish pilot action with the framework of the Territorial Agenda 2030 also contributes to implement the spatial planning vision for the cross-border region on both sides of the Oder and the Lusanian Neisse. Another example of successful cooperation are the recently finalized railway maps for the German-Polish border region. If you haven't seen it yet, you should look at it. The map shows the current, but also the future railway network after 2030. If all currently ongoing work and prepared planning were to be implemented. The map of the future railway network depicts the big potential of the border region. In order to exploit this potential, joint solution and cross-border concepts are indispensable. Ladies and gentlemen, the many years of cooperation have created a close partnership and added value for municipalities and are a great example of a Europe that is going together. I'm very confident that we will continue this successful cooperation in the future. There are many good ideas and committed stakeholders at the national, regional and local level in both countries. Thank you very much for your attention. Bardzo dziękuję za uwagę. Życzę Państwu owocnej dyskusji i z niecierpliwością wypatruję przyszłych debat. I look forward to the future discussion and wish you a productive day.